Hi, good afternoon. Today I would like to talk about an incident that had occurred in the life of a famous Spanish author, Miguel de Cervantes. And I would like to take you back to 1571. This was a time when there was a battle between the forces of Spain and Italy on one hand, and that of Turkey on the other. This battle took place at a coast in the southwestern or roughly in the western region of Greece of Europe. The coast in which this battle took place was called Lepanto, and the battle was called the Battle of Lepanto of 1571. In this battle, the Spanish and the Italian forces had emerged victorious against the Turkish forces, and one of the soldiers from the side of Spain was called Miguel de Cervantes. Even before he was a popular writer, he had been a soldier for Spain, and in the Battle of Lepanto, he had lost the use of his left arm. Later, he got recommendations from the Prince of Austria, Don Juan, and he hoped that with these letters of recommendation, he could go back to Spain that would help him to land a job there. With the same kind of thought process, in 1575, he had he he started sailing to Spain, but on the way, while he was approaching Barcelona, his ship was caught by pirates. Pirates near the coast of a region in Africa, the North Africa. The pirates caught this ship, robbed the possessions of the sailors, and later on decided that these sailors could be used to row their own ship, the ship of the pirates. When each sailor of the ship that was bound to Spain was taken on board the pirate ship one by one, and when it was the turn of Miguel de Cervantes, I'll call him Miguel from now on, the captain of the pirate ship had observed that Miguel could not use his left arm. Captain then thought that he won't be useful to row their ship. The captain also observed the luggage of Miguel and had found the letters of the Prince of Austria, Don Juan. By reading these letters, the captain of the pirate ship had understood, or at least he thought, that Miguel was from a wealthy family. He was not merely a humble soldier, as he got recommendations from the Prince of Austria. This gave him a reason. The captain of the pirate ship, gave him a reason to hold Miguel captive so that he could be used as a ransom to extract money from the possibly wealthy family of Miguel. This was the thinking. On this similar line of thought, he was not taken in the ship of the pirates, rather, he was taken to a city nearby at the coast of Africa called Algiers. There, he was kept captive in a prison. There were many slaves who were kept captive in prison. Some of them were rich, some of them were poor. The rich ones had an opportunity to be exchanged with their families on ransom. The poor ones, however, had to work under the masters of this city, and sometimes, or rather most of the times, they were given harsh punishments for for very small mistakes, like cutting off their noses or ears. As I've already told you, Miguel was held captive in a prison. This was a different kind of a prison. During the daytime, the people, the prisoners or the slaves, were allowed to move out into the city, but they had to carry out hard labor in the city, backbending work. At night, they were once again back to the prison, and this kind of arrangement of prison is called was called an open prison called bagnios. However, Miguel could not use his left arm because of the problem he faced in the Battle of Lepanto, and therefore he had to be captive in the prison, tied by chains. Eventually, he was also released from chains and was allowed to move out into the city and roam freely in the city. When this happened, he had tried to escape from Algiers by land. Remember, he had come to this place by a ship, not willingly, of course, and now he's trying to escape through land. He had a guide with him, but the guide had deserted him. He was left alone in the scorching heat of Africa, and later he was once again captured and put in prison. Therefore, his plan to escape was not was to not was not to any avail. But he wouldn't give up. He still wanted to escape from the prison. This time he had contacted his brother, and and there was an agreement where it was planned that a certain ship would come to a remote beach at the coast of Africa nearby the city of Algiers, and Miguel, including a few other slave people in the prison, in the open prison of Algiers, would be rescued by this ship. Miguel also had other plans. He had known of a secret cave near the coast of Africa, and he had wanted to place the slave men who wanted to get rescued and get freedom. The slave men that he had chosen, there were 14 of them, and he wanted that these slave men be concealed in that cave. It was a secret cave because there was a tunnel that led to the cave, and the other end of the cave opened into a garden, and the entrance at that other end was covered by vegetation cover. The plan was to conceal the 14 slaves or the prisoners in this cave for a few months before the rescue was to take place. And everything happened according to plan until the day of rescue. When the day of rescue came, the prisoners in the cave, including Miguel, were anxious They knew that they were taking a gamble by escaping from the prison, and if they were caught, they knew that the repercussions would be harsh. They wanted that the day pass to night, as it was at the night that a boat would come and rescue them from a beach, a remote beach near the city of Algiers. When night had come, there was a lookout who was sent out onto the beach to check if a boat was coming towards the shores. He had spotted a boat, but it was not only him who had spotted a boat. There were fishermen of Africa in the beach who had spotted this foreign boat, and they raised alarms that there were foreigners there that were coming to the shore. The sailors in the boat were aware of these alarms, and they immediately returned back out into the sea. Not only the sailors, but the lookout also fled from the scene, and he did not have an opportunity to signal the prisoners in the cave to come out of the cave and possibly enter the boat if the boat had come to the shores. All the while all these events were being unfolded, the prisoners in the cave were unaware of all these events, and they kept waiting for the boat. The night passed to the day, but the next day after sunrise, their hopes of a rescue were completely dashed. A group of soldiers of Algiers had burst into the cave. They had actually found the cave. Miguel was in the cave. He had stepped forward and told these soldiers that it was not the idea of the 14 other slave men to have planned an escape like that. He pleaded for mercy from the soldiers, but the soldiers paid no heed to the words of Miguel. Rather, they tied his hands and feet with chains and put him back in prison. Miguel tried to escape two more times after this plan of escape through the beach was foiled, and both the times he was unsuccessful. It was finally in 1580 when he was rescued from the prison. His family had to raise some money to exchange him for the money. Remember, it was in 1575 that he had left to Spain, and it is in 1580 that he is returning back to his home, Spain, to Madrid. And this is the incident I wanted to narrate about the popular writer Miguel de Cervantes of Spain. He was a popular writer because he had written a masterpiece novel called Don Quixote. It was a story of an old man who was moving off in his weary horse into the world to ensure that the injustice in the world is done away with and made right. Hopefully, you found the incident in the life of Miguel de Cervantes interesting. I chose this topic because it was a real life incident and not a story from a movie. Thank you.